Seiko is better than Rolex.
Grand Seiko is better than Rolex.
Grand Seiko is the thinking man's watch company.
Grand Seiko is the thinking girl's watch company.
So Ratsu polishing is more important than a quality bracelet.
Zaratsu polish. Wait, what?
Power reserve indicators actually enhance the symmetry of the dial.
Power reserve indicate. Okay, that's enough. I think I may have accidentally joined a cult.
Being a watch collector is kind of like being a serial killer. You buy one and you're sated for a period of time. The voices go away and you can live your life like a normal person for a bit. But eventually, the allure of a new kill,
New watch starts pulling at you again until you can't take it anymore and you have to buy another one. Well, I had been stalking my prey for a little while here, and I decided to pull the trigger pretty quickly this time because I didn't want to miss out on another limited edition Grand Seiko. What could have been? So here it is, my newest watch, the 55th anniversary limited edition Sea of Clouds, and yeah, it's a quartz. So yes, it is a limited edition. Limited to 2,000 pieces. Now sometimes when a watch is limited to 2,000 pieces, you can purchase one new 3 years later. And sometimes it's gone within a week. I knew I couldn't get this one online anymore, so when I saw that a local AD had one, I decided to grab it. Like many of the more attractive Grand Seiko dials, this one is based off of a natural phenomena that is local to the Grand Seiko shop in the Shinshu region of northern Japan. This time it's based off of the clouds that... You know what, screw it. I'm just gonna read it off of the Grand Seiko website because they wrote it way better than I ever could. It has the texture of the sea of clouds that from around the mountains on some mornings in the Shinshu region where this and all Grand Seiko quartz watches are made. Sometimes the air is so still and humid that dense clouds gather and overlap to create a sea of clouds above Shinshu's lowlands that stretches away to the horizon in every direction and that is tinged with blue, reflecting down from the clear skies above them. Wow. I'm just glad they didn't write all of that on the dial. Rolex might have. Now, I've never seen the blue of the sky impose itself on the color of the clouds, so this all just kind of sounds like pretty nonsense to me. And I can't help but wonder if Grand Seiko is just making things up at this point, but I don't really care either way because this dial is just gorgeous. This watch was designed as, and I quote, part of a year-long celebration for the 55th anniversary of the 44 GS. Seriously? A year-long celebration for an off 5-year anniversary? Whatever. I just like the way the case looks. You have the beautiful Zaratsu polishing on the conical bezel, as well as the lugs just begging to get scratched or dinged by something. But I suppose that's the price you pay with Grand Seiko. Gorgeous finishing that you have absolutely no chance of keeping pristine. As always, the dial furniture is beautiful and incredibly precise. The indices are hand-finished by artisans using diamond-tipped micrometric milling tools. Everything from the case to the dial to the handset is just gorgeous. Like I said, this is a quartz watch. And the quartz line in Grand Seiko is less expensive than the spring drives, which are again, on average, less expensive than the mechanical watches. This combined with the fact that you can make a basic quartz movement for about $1 contributes to the idea that quartz movements are almost always, well, less than. But in this case, Nothing could be further from the truth. These are quartz movements that are designed to last a human lifetime and beyond. A basic quartz movement you might find in a cheaper watch is usually much more accurate than a well-made and regulated mechanical movement. But just because a $50 quartz watch is more accurate than a new Rolex doesn't mean it keeps anything close to perfect time. Every watch is different, but in my experience, most basic quartz movements keep time with about a positive or negative variance of 10 to 20 seconds per month. That's about 2 to 4 minutes per year. The standard 9F85 that can be found in several Grand Seikos, like the SBGP017, are accurate to less than 10 seconds a year. The 9F85 found in the limited edition anniversary model, however, is rated accurate to plus or minus 5 seconds a year. And that's the worst case scenario. There's many examples of this movement running as accurately as plus or minus 1 to 2 seconds per year. This is not some cheap quartz movement. This watch takes its internal temperature 540 times per day and adjusts its timekeeping accordingly, so temperature is no longer a factor. I'm not going to do a deep dive here explaining the difference between a generic quartz movement and a Grand Seiko quartz movement. There's plenty of other videos out there discussing the topic. But I will say this. It takes 2 watchmakers to make this movement. It wasn't made on some assembly line cranking out thousands of quartz movements a day. Designing and building a superior quartz movement can be an artistic endeavor, and Grand Seiko has done that here. When else will you ever see a quartz movement worthy of an exhibition caseback? Anyway, I just got the watch, so this isn't actually a review, but there is something that needs to be addressed: the bracelet. The watch comes on a bracelet, but the bracelet doesn't really fit me that well. On a strap, it's fine. Now, I admit this is about the limit to what I can get away with my Barbie wrist, but I don't mind a lot of wrist presence. Regardless, Grand Seiko, you're killing me. Your bracelets need a micro adjust. Twice a year, I have to adjust all of my bracelets when the weather changes. It's not okay that you skimp on the bracelets. $3,800 for a quartz watch, and you get a bracelet that doesn't comfortably fit half the people who buy it? Even worse, you could spend $9,300 on a birch and you would have the exact same problem. If I hadn't intended to wear it on the strap regardless, I wouldn't have bought it. Grand Seiko, you just gotta do better. Just a quick recap, guys. I've only had this watch for about a week. There's so much about this watch and Grand Seiko in general that I want to talk about on the channel, but I didn't bother going into detail about in this video. I just wanted to make a general introduction / overview because I think I'm kind of funny, but mostly because I was excited about my first Grand Seiko purchase and I wanted to talk about it on the channel. I will make a more in-depth video once I have had the watch for a couple months and really worn and experienced it. If you are new here and that sounds like something you might be interested in, I do encourage you to hit that subscribe button so you know when that video goes out. In the meantime though, I have picked out some similar content over here that I think you might like. Anyway guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.